We also offer lectures, demonstration in manners. Some of so here the artists come and then they perform and they also explain to you the various intricacies of a particular performance, whether it is vocal, whether it is dance, and so on. Additionally, we also encourage heritage walks, heritage and nature walks, where any institution can participate, can bring the people who are knowledgeable about the particular historical building, historical place. That is a part of the heritage walk. Likewise, we also conduct the nature walks. We also encourage to have talks. You can bring literary people who are very good in their own fields, and they can also give a talk and a discussion which can take place, all related with our heritage. We also encourage classic films. Now we have a portfolio of classic films, which we would like students to watch those films, and not only that, discuss on those films. In fact, for some of the films, we are also able to bring the original directors to also give a talk around those films. So this is how the various activities are kind of, you have a collection of activities which you can associate with, and you can participate with by organizing at your institutions. So that is how we have the components of what we have to offer. Now the next part is that how do you compose? So the composition begins like this. You will, as in the subsequent session, you will understand about, we talk about the Heritage Club. The details will be shared with you. But what is expected that an institution has a group of volunteers who would be connected with some of our existing volunteers and chapters. You will plan out. You will plan out that okay, you would like to conduct single activity, you want to conduct multiple activities. Ideally, we believe an institution gets the best experience by organizing what we call a virasat. Virasat is nothing but a composition of multiple activities. And the idea is that over a period, the period can range from 5 days, 7 days, to even up to 17 days. You will organize activities, and we also respect your academic calendar. So depending upon your academic calendar, you can frame that duration. And typical Virasat program would consist of you will bring one or two artists. They will offer you a concert, and which it can also be in a lecture and demonstration manner. You can organize a typical workshop. Typical workshop can run into 5 to 7 days, and those workshops are usually run in the evening time so that your academics are not disturbed. It could be 7 to 9, it could be 5 to 7, depending upon the institutions. So a Virasat will consist of these series of programs, where we also have some guidelines on that. We expect when you put multiple programs, if you would like to see a distribution of various art forms, like we would like to see Carnatic vocal as well as the Hindustani vocal. Of course, we know the number of events get limited because of the duration for which you will organize, but typically we recommend go for a 7 days Virasat. By the way, some institutions have also done those Virasat series, organizing them over maybe 2 weekends. So you on 2 weekends, you get 4 days, or maybe on 3 weekends, so you're weekdays. But however, as far as workshops are concerned, they need to be continuity. So that is the format of a typical Virasat. Some institutions do hold individual events. Sometimes they coincide those events with some particular major kind of an anniversary happening at that institution, but we want to make sure that the classical nature of the program is not disturbed, and it is rendered with the respect what it deserves. So that is as far as Virasat part is concerned. Additionally, we also have uh, conduct typically. at least once in a year, we do an international convention which lasts for 7 days. And during that period, it is a residential convention. So we tie up and we go some institution which have got enough infrastructure and suitably located, where we ask students and some of the lead faculty and when they so we host almost 1,500 to 2,000 participants in such a convention. And the convention is offered more like in the format of a uh, so what we call is the ashram like environment. So all students and participants will come. They need to be they need to stay at the institution. Our typical day begins at 4 o'clock in the morning with a yoga session, then followed by uh, having the breakfast, come down. It is a proper structure which we can share with you later. But the whole day is occupied. So because you are staying there, you will be doing a session on the workshops in the morning half of the day. In the later half of the day, you will have an afternoon concert or two, and then you can have a evening concert as well. All besides that, when on the last concluding day of the convention, we also organize a overnight program. We consider that is also important to enjoy and understand the classical format. And that overnight begins at 8 o'clock in the night and goes all the way to 4 o'clock in the morning. So that is the typical structure of a convention. Virasats, usually you will have, as I earlier mentioned, you will have an afternoon, sorry, an evening concert typically, and you will have the workshops running with those. So these are the two activities to which you need to focus on and organize events at your pace. We'll take questions subsequently in our orientation session today later, and you can always reach out to us with need any clarifications if you require on these various activities which we offer and work with you. And it's only you who will be helping us to conduct those activities at your institutions. That is all from my side. And thank you for listening to me. And thank you, Sabya. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. So now I will be speaking about the Heritage Club of SPIC MACAY. So thank you, sir, for explaining about all the various modules about SPIC MACAY. So let's talk about the Heritage Club of SPIC MACAY. So with with the overview that we have provided about our classical arts, as we just saw that SPIC MACAY attempts to bring great classical artists to the students, in front of the students. So to make this effort successful on a persistent and frequent basis, so we try to form the heritage clubs in all the institutions that we associate in order to give this experience a more institutionalized form, and where students can get exposure to our various classical arts and the artists on a more regular basis during their academic years. So I'd like to share a few details about our Heritage Club. So as we mentioned, it is important that our classical arts are such that it gives its impact over a period of time, but when given over a sustained manner in a short, brief instances, but in a very consistent manner over a long period of time during the academic years of students. So, to make this into a reality and practically organize these programs, it's important to form the Heritage Club. And that's how we as a movement reach out and conduct more than 5,000 programs in a year. So it can serve as a nodal center for spreading this cause of this movement across all the students in your institution, as well as to students outside or in your neighboring academic institutions as well. They can also get the exposure of our Indian classical and traditional art forms. So that is why it is important to get exposure through the Heritage Club. And also it can stay as an institutionalized body with a structure, so that when students pass out from the academic institution, they can hand over the Heritage Club. The baton can be handed over to the next batch of students. So typically we require a faculty advisor. I mean, I'm showing the structure of a Heritage Club. You can form a 10-member club, or 10 is a minimum, but you can also form a higher number of member body of the Heritage Club. So you can have faculty advisor, you can have program coordinator, media publicity coordinator, artist coordinators, then treasurer, joint treasurer, and members of the campus who can be nominated. So that's where students from the institution get to play a more leadership role during their academic years or growing up years. So there are a lot of benefits of being a part of the Heritage Club. For example, what will students gain from it? So as we mentioned, our Indian classical music and culture, it tries to give exposure to connect within. It is a medium of connecting with our inner selves through the medium of arts, but it is just a medium, or it's a way of connecting within, but it is not that only a specific means of, or a specific means to achieve the end. Dr. Seth, our founder, says that गाना बजाना सिर्फ एक बहाना है. It is a medium of reaching an elevated state of mind where we are in a blissful alpha zone. And this expose elevated experience which we bring to students will help them in their academics. It will help them in whatever they do, whether it will be science, commerce, uh, law, or academics, or sports. So overall, it inculcates in individuals the various skills needed to navigate the complexities of not just academics but also life. So uh, we all joined SPIC MACAY during our student years, and it gave us that leadership skills to bring a change in the society, to bring a change in not just our lives but also in the lives of all the members of our community. So these are the values that students will learn by joining the Heritage Club, becoming a coordinator of the Heritage Club. And lastly, we want to also say that there can be various activities which can be organized as part of the Heritage Club. So definitely you might ask that how many meetings can we do, or how many events or programs we can be done, right? So definitely we understand that due to academic schedules, it won't be that every week you can have a lecture, demonstration, or a concert, right? But how to make that in a sustained way, so that the exposure that you get from your interactions with the artist and with these programs, workshops of SPIC MACAY, how to sustain that in a continued manner, right? So what can be done to inculcate that that connectedness to our culture, and also start a discussion amongst your heritage club members. So that is where we can have the weekly meetings. We can have every week volunteers coming and planning some talks, discussions, interactions. We can have cinema classic screenings, for which there is no, it's a no cost module. In fact, on just to announce, for next as part of our next program on Gandhi Jayanti, we are hosting a national cinema classic screening. Like that, we can have talk modules. Also, student community members of the heritage club can also maintain the newsletters. They can invite eminent persons from for nature walks, heritage walks also. And they can also publish the meeting minutes of this weekly meetings, so that some more and more students can take up these leadership roles in their community, and foster this culture of uh, you know sharing and caring, so to speak. So I think that's broadly what we wanted to share with you about the heritage club aspect of SPIC MACAY. And we also want to add here that, as you may be aware, that our various government bodies and education bodies have given tremendous support for SPIC MACAY. So in this regard, we would like to share that especially UGC and NAC bodies have given circulars to encourage forming the heritage club. So I definitely would like to share with you some of those uh, you know uh, some of those letters of support. So for example, here is a letter from the AICT to all the institutions under AICT, which says that the national education policy on Indian knowledge systems, so they should be encouraged to join the SPIC MACAY and form a heritage club. And at the same time, we also have a letter of support from UGC to form the SPIC MACAY heritage club. So I'll just like to briefly touch upon that. So here is the UGC letter, which also encourages under the national education policy to form the SPIC MACAY Heritage Club, and also our national education policy gives a lot of importance on the in India's education system and knowledge system. So in view of this new encouraging change that we are trying to bring about in the holistic education, this way the heritage clubs can definitely facilitate this vision and support as a nodal center to promote that. So now that you all have registered for forming at least for joining our orientation and forming the heritage club, we, as a next step, we would look forward to be connected with you and also support you, and be in touch to get these organized. So I'd like to now invite our next speaker for the day, Shri Karan Nanda. I like to introduce briefly. So Shri Karan Nanda sir has been a very senior volunteer from our Delhi NCR, and he has been a dairy technologist. Also has a passion for theater as well as SPIC MACAY. Sir was with the National Dairy Board in product development and worked with Mother Dairy in QC outsourcing, logistics, HR, and training. We invite Sir to share his views on volunteerism and Nishkam Seva. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sabya. And well, about volunteerism, I think Sabya has already, in his slides given you a lot of information about that. We started the, program and introduced the concept of Nishkam Seva when Arunji used that word, Nishkam Seva. Basically, it means, working without expecting any rewards or anything, and anything materialistic for the kind of efforts, time, energy, and effort that you give. But when Sabya listed out the kind of advantages and the kind of benefits you're going to get, so you find that, it's not just Nishkam Seva. You get back a lot more than what you give in. So I'll give you a brief list of, where all you can sort of pitch in, where all you can help in, how can you volunteer, and what are some of the aspects where you can volunteer, because I'm sure you will be, wanting to know that. Because we already now have gone through, about what SPIC MACAY is about. And so this huge organization, it is, pan-India, and across the globe also. So how does this immense organization run? Well, very simply with the efforts of its volunteers who give in their time, effort, and energy without any rewards. We don't have any paid employees in our organization. Well, I won't say it's an organization, it's basically a movement. But before I go on, I'll give you an interesting bit of, I was, just reading about an aspect of our cultural heritage. First of all, let me say that, we are no longer asking you to be part of this. Because as Arunji said, this our heritage is there with us for thousands of years. And this is the virasat handed over to us by our forefathers and their fathers. And it is something we need to, keep with us, hand it over to our youth, to you, and then it keeps going on. Because that is what really identifies us as Indians. In 2002, I'll just share this information. In 2002, I don't know how many of you have heard of the Beatles. I mean, the young crowd. And if some of you have not, go and look them over. And they were one of the leading pop groups of the world. Started in UK. So in 2002, there was a concert in memory of George Harrison, one of the 4 members of the team. And that was held at Royal Albert Hall, London. And I think you know about the importance of Royal Albert Hall. The concert was for about roughly 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours. But let me say that the first 45 minutes of the concert were devoted to Indian classical music. The concert started with an invocation of Sanskrit prayer with a tribute by Pandit Ravi Shankar. Then a rendition by Anushka Shankar, you all know about her. And then by the great master himself, Pandit Ravi Shankar himself, he rendered his composition in memory of that. The other important thing which I read recently was that George Harrison's son was named Dhani Harrison. And then when I explored it, Dhani was formed for the 6th and 7th notes of the Indian music scale. Dhani. And Dhani is also a raga, an Indian raga. So the point I'm trying to make is, if across our borders, our culture, our heritage, our classical, heritage is so revered, what are we waiting for? Why are we not, putting out a little bit of our efforts to see that this is not only preserved, but also propagated to our youth? Because there's a lot of influence, as we know, Western influences there, Western music, which is all very good. But then we cannot afford to lose our own heritage. So that is something for you to think and contemplate, that how important is this whole, issue for you. But for us, we are here, Arunji is here, Sabya is here, Dinesh ji, Saraswati ji, we have been volunteers in SPIC MACAY for years. And one thing I know, when I walked into SPIC MACAY years back, I didn't know that it is something, you walk in, you just can't get out there. Because it becomes, a part of you. And a volunteer at SPIC MACAY is part of a family, not just an organization. So that is one of the advantages, that you walk into a family. And we, like I said, we've been here for years. And the reason we are here, because we understand how important our heritage is. So what can I do as a volunteer? So how can I help? So I would suggest one thing, just I'll go to a very short, a brief summary of what can be done. After that, if you have any questions, please do ask. And we are all there. We can answer some of your questions today. Or if you have something later on, you need to ask questions or takes any help, our phone numbers will be there with you and we will help you out. So how can you help? The first very simple thing is, today you heard a lot about SPIC MACAY, what it's doing, what the importance is to you and everybody. Talk about to your family, talk about it to your friends. Just share what you heard and what you have really felt. The second thing is, wherever in any institute, in your vicinity, if there's a SPIC MACAY program going on, do please go and attend it. Go in there, mix with the volunteers, see what they are doing, how they are doing it, and just try and figure out, any place where you can fit in or where you feel, oh, this is where I could contribute. So you don't have to really jump in and say, okay, I'm a volunteer. You come in, feel your way through, talk to us, talk to the volunteers, and then figure out. Now, one of the other aspects is, like Sabya had already mentioned, that the organization of the the management of the programs is done by the volunteers. So there's an opportunity to, use your skills there, or simply learn that, management and people handling skills. Then there is we have a very strong publicity department, because we need to publicize the programs so that, the other people also get to know that such a movement is there. You can join the publicity team. It's a very strong team. And you can join into, like I said, either contribute or even simply learn. When COVID came in, we immediately switched on to the online mode, and we formed a technical team, which helps us out to our online program like we are doing now. So if you are technically inclined, please, you're free to join that team, help out with that team. The third thing is, there are no charges. I mean, whenever you have a program, there are no tickets, no charges. You don't have to book. You have to simply walk in and experience whatever classical rendition is going on. So, but to manage the logistics, to manage the, the housing, the lodging, boarding, and other expenses, we need the money. So we have a team which takes care of financial requirements. You can be part of the team, try to gather some funds and figure out how we are doing it, and join in the team to help us in that area. So these are just some of the very few areas where you can, like I said, come in and help us out and be part of the organization. But like I said, just make up your mind and say, okay, this is my heritage and I'm going to preserve it. Let me come in and help out. And another thing, we are a very informal organization. It's not that you have to come in and, sign a register or check in somewhere. Okay, I've entered and I spent 1 hour. It depends on you, because everybody is busy. You have your own, commitments, your studies, or maybe your work, or whatever you're doing. So whatever little time you have, or whatever energy or effort you can put in, it depends on you. You have the choice. Give that to SPIC MACAY and and just be part of this organization. And you will see that, like I said, once you come into the fold, it'll be very difficult for you to leave it. So welcome once again, and thank you for being here. And well, looking forward to you joining in. And like I said, we are there to help you out. Do reach out to us. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and guidance on volunteering with SPIC MACAY, we would just like to play or show a message by our founder, Dr. Kiran Sethi, about being a part of the movement. So just show you that.
My dear friends, SPIC MACAY, the Society for the Promotion of Indian Classical Music and Culture amongst Youth, is a voluntary movement and is trying to bring the best of our heritage into the lives of young people. Now, in a voluntary movement, what is the first thing that's required? Obviously, volunteers. See, in a company, what you do is you set up a big setup and then you hire people. But in a voluntary movement, you first get the people and then you look for a place and money and all the other things. So the most important ingredient in a movement like ours are volunteers. And therefore, I am requesting you to give a little bit of your time to this lovely movement. And if you can't, then look for somebody, friends, Romans, countrymen, who can give a little bit of their time. Anyone from the age of about 15 till 75, 80, who can, who is a little active and who can give a little bit of their time. It could be housewives, it could be retired people, it could be staff members, students, etc., etc., etc. But I really request all of you to try to bring this wonderful idea of Nishkam Seva back into society. Today, NGOs are largely speaking very professionally run, but we have purposely kept it as a voluntary movement because we wanted to bring this encouragement, we wanted to encourage this concept of giving without expectation. This used to be one of the wonderful things in our society at one time. Today, everything has become a transaction. I give you something, then you give me back something. But here, I often call this law of Nishkam Seva is something like the Newton's third law of motion. The Newton's third law of motion says to every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. But here, there's to every action, the reaction far exceeds the action, but does not come from where the action is placed. It gets multiplied, 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 and then comes from somewhere else. There's only one rider. If you expect, it gets broken. So therefore, this concept is one very integral part of the thinking process in SPIC MACAY. And therefore, we would like to have really truly volunteers who want to give of themselves without expecting anything in return. Now, this is a very difficult call, I know. People do expect whenever they give, whatever they give, they would like to get something back. But the less you expect, it's a progressive thing. It happens progressively. When you start giving, then you go with some expectation. But as you keep on giving, you find that the level of expectation keeps coming down. And finally, it should come to that level where you don't expect anything. And that itself is a very, very great thing. So therefore, I'm requesting all of you to give a little bit of your time to this movement which is trying to bring some aspects into the lives of young people which are sorely missing. A little amount of abstraction, a little amount of subtlety, a little amount of inspiration, and a respect for the mystical. I remember what Virju Maharaj Ji used to say. He said that मेरे गुरु के बड़े बड़े मूछे थे, and he was very fat, मतलब stout. And when he did the Radha Krishna theme, he just with his eyes, from one side he went, from being Krishna, with his eyes he became Radha. And he said that nowadays if I try it, it'll just get missed. Nobody will be able to see it. Ustad Bismillah Khan Sahab used to say, आजकल वाह वाह करवाने वाले बहुत हो गए, पर निकलवाने वाले गिने चुने रह गए. So these are some of the things which are missing in our lives today. Everything has become entertainment, very little of elevation. All these aspects can be brought in if we concentrate a little bit on our heritage. And therefore, I'm requesting you for your support and your help. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So with this, we come to the conclusion of our orientation session, and we will now have a Q&A session for any questions. If anyone has any questions, please unmute or raise your hand.
Sir, I would like to ask a question.
Yeah.
So we are actually located in remote area of where, and I want to know how to approach SPIC MACAY to organize a program in our college.
Okay, sure. So we can introduce you to our coordinator. You're near Bhubaneswar?
No, sir, we are from Gaya, Bihar,
Okay, okay,
and the
okay.
college is located in village area.
Sure. Okay, so we can introduce you to our coordinator from Bihar, and then they can reach out to you. Our local chapter coordinators can reach out to you and then work on organizing something with you in your institution.
Thank you so much, sir. There is another question, sir. What are the programs we can organize at our own level?
Okay.
Sabya, should I address this question?
Yeah, sure.
Uh, you're Dr. Raja, right? From an institution in Bihar, Gaya?
Sir, I'm Assistant Professor Rajkumar from Sinha College, Tekari, Gaya, sir, Bihar.
Okay, all right. You see, when you said that you can organize programs on your own, that's not an issue. Once you formulate your heritage club, we have introduced you to a senior volunteer who is in your vicinity, maybe Patna or Gaya probably. They will mentor you, they will guide you what you can do. In fact, we have also shared with you our guidelines for the heritage club. So it describes what kind of events can take place. But please note that the artists who will be performing in those events, those will need to be from SPIC MACAY approved place. You know, we not every artist performs on behalf of his SPIC MACAY, because we would like to see that the best is shared. You know, that is what we are. That is what is all about. So you will need to be careful about what to organize. Some of the things which you can organize on your own could be, for example, as we said, that the classical movies, you know, that does not cost any money. You can get together and organize a show amongst yourself and then have discussion around that.
The
You can
classical
also,
movie.
yes, go ahead. Classical movies, we're saying something.
Yes, sir.
You had a question on classical movies, I believe.
So if you can name some of them.
Yes, you see, we have a repertoire of several movies. You know, like I think Sabya, you will have the list. Probably you can quickly speak about them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can share with you the list of movies. I mean, we can connect after the meeting. I will share with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll put my number in the chat box if you want to reach out for any query.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So,
So I also want to announce that on occasion of Gandhi Jayanti, we are having institutions to do a film screening of the making of the Mahatma by Sham Benegal. So we can be in touch with you. You can organize a film screening anytime this month. And on 2nd of October, we will have an interaction session with the main actor of the movie, Shri Rajit Kapoor. So we can do that. Like we can work on that with you, with your institution. Okay, anybody would like to ask any questions? Okay, so I think we don't have any further questions. So now, if there are no other questions, we can yeah, I think Saraswati ma'am, would you like to share some details about the films? Okay, I'll just share. So we have we screen films by Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa. We screen films by Satyajit Ray, Apu trilogy, then by Adur Gopalakrishnan. So like that, many such films we screen. Then also, yeah, like for example, Shatranj Ke Khiladi and many such classic cinema, and Charlie Chaplin, Great Dictator, like that. So now I'd like to request Shri Dinesh Chand sir to come and present a formal vote of thanks on behalf of SPIC MACAY as we reach the end of the orientation. So I'd like to introduce Dinesh Chand sir. Sir is the convener of the higher education vertical of SPIC MACAY and has been associated since a very long time with us. Sir has done his engineering from IIT Kharagpur and also went abroad for pursuing higher studies and served in the private sector in various senior roles and capacities. Thank you.
so thank you, Sabya. First of all, thank all the participants who have attended the orientation today. I know it is Saturday and many of you must be having a holiday time, but finding time to attend this orientation, I think I would like to thank you all. I believe about 7 institutions have decided to join this, and subsequently, I think NIT Surathkal was also had sent a last minute registration, and I shared the link with them. I suppose they are also in this audience. So that's good. Thank you very much. And we will be sharing with you after subsequently an email, your directors or your SPIC MACAY coordinators, uh, asking you to give us the feedback and particularly the attendance, because we would like to register and know that who have actually attended the orientation. One last notice announcement I want to make is that we will be having our international convention in 2025 from 26th May to 1st of January. And we'll be opening his registration sometimes in the, I think the April, May of 25. You are welcome to register for it. And mind you, this international convention attendance does not cost you anything except you being selected and you are being able to travel to that place. So traveling back and forth, you need to take care. But after that, the stay at the program of 7 days, you are not cost you anything. please do join us in the international convention when it is held next year. That's all. Once again, thank you everyone. Thank you Sabya, thank you Kiran, Karan, Arun, and Saraswati ji, and even Usha ji had joined shortly for a short period. Everyone is welcome. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Namaste, sir. Thank you, sir.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you so much for all for joining. And feel free to be in touch for any further questions. Thank you.